So I watched the furry anime. Recently, I had decided that I should broaden my anime horizons when I realized that I really haven't watched a lot of new ones, as I've been rewatching Kill la Kill over and over again for the last 4 years. So I started with, arguably the most batshit option I could have done, and started with Beastars, which, I watched it. It was surprisingly good. No, I've never seen Zootopia. I, and probably a lot of you who are cosplayers, have done this thing where I watch a show and I immediately start assigning all of my friends' characters to cosplay. But this time, it was worse, because now I have to convince them to cosplay furries. Upon looking at the trio that are Haru, Louie, and Legoshi, I realized that that is just what me, Garrett, and Tyler all look like on a regular basis. So, that led to this conversation, and now we're here. None of the human designs I've seen of these three have really stuck with me. So I realized that I already had a white wig, and it's in ponytails because I had it sponsored by this company that I forgot the name of and now I'm putting on screen. So I'm just taking out the braids, and I have a bunch of fur and some model magic to make ears and horns. So, we are gonna completely thrift and make them out of stuff either the three of us have or the bundle of fur that I found. So let's do that. The first thing I did when setting out to make our Beastars costumes was to see what I could find at Goodwill. I didn't actually film this, but we did find everything we needed.
How did you put on the uniform? Do you care to explain your thought process?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Then I started on Louie's horns. At first I created an inner structure out of armature wire that I planned to cover with the model magic I was going to use, but that didn't work and it was really hard. So instead I scrapped the armature and just made the full horns out of model magic. I let the horns dry for a week and sanded them down using a Dremel tool and some sandpaper, and then I painted them with acrylic paint and glossy varnish. This is basically the exact same process most Homestuck cosplayers would use to make horns back in the day, so you can probably find a whole video on it if you really wanted to. Next I painted my fake Haru nails while using the TikTok trend's way of doing French nails. It kinda worked, I don't really know. All my fake nails are done very amateurly, so take it with a grain of salt. Anyways, after that, I decided to try and finish Haru in one night like a dumbass, that way I could debut her early. I made her ears by making a pattern, tracing it onto foam, and then the fur, and I put armature wire inside and hot glued all of it together to create the horns. They ended up breaking upon my first wear of her and then stayed floppy from there on out, but I don't really care about it enough to fix it, so...
Oh my god.
That's not a bad idea. The great taste of Sunny D, is that the same thing as Capri Sun and Sunny D?
Bruh.
To finish Haru's bunny bits, I made her tail by taking a square of fur, shaving it, and then gluing it together with a safety pin in the middle. I mean, it's wiggly, but it's supposed to be a little wiggly, you know?
There's a character in one, not one.
I'm calling it now, these fall apart tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, but the next day. You know what I mean? These are gonna fall apart. I'm calling it now. And then to finish Haru's entire outfit, Ash and I painted her uniform's blue stripes onto the skirt, and with that, Haru was done. She was definitely the most difficult of the costumes, simply because I didn't know what I was doing and I rushed it. But after that, I was able to knock Legoshi and Louie out in one weekend with what I'd learned. I made patterns, cut the fur, and assembled everything the exact same way, except I had to add the step of dyeing the white fur gray and brown respectively. To do this, I used Rit Dye dye to pretty mixed results. The colors came out a little strange, and it took a couple experimental tries to mix the right colors for them.
Lego Shane Louie's tails, instead of being hot glued, were actually sewn together with a sewing machine because they were bigger and fluffier. And then Louie's horns and ears were screwed into an internal headband that I put nails in using a power drill. Fun fact, the way that I attached these Louie horns is actually the same way I attach my Ibuki wig's space buns. So if you're ever curious, it is just an internal headband with screws running through it. Everything was then hot glued together and put onto wig heads. With all of this done, we were then ready to shoot the costumes. Y'all ready to be
stupid
furries?
mad thing?
I think Joe is better than Galir. In terms of like grabby.
You're incorrect, but whatever.
Galir is a sad man.
Galir's fucking stacked though. We already knew this.
Isn't he like?
Happy vlog. Talk about Joe Donjo's fat fucking tits.
I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
You wanna finish
Communism.
Communism.
Did you mean to say hung like a horse? Because that's
Oh! Stop!
Oh, we should get a Cotton Eye Joe together.
Oh, instead of the like nice dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to fix your skirt?
Haru, I'm fucking bald.
Or...
Hey, we should
No, a lollipop. Oh wait, it's a
I
touch.
stabbed you with my thumb.
Garrett, what the fuck? Garrett, how bad?
Like, yeah?
Then I can see I have a bunch of ones.
The one ear! The one ear! The one ear is really bouncy. Hold on, I'm falling off.
Oh, one of the pegs fell out.
My lord.
Ma'am, your glasses. They're sideways.
And you have your glasses.
I can hold them.
Going? There's coyotes over there. Stop.
Oh my god, there's fucking coyotes.
Oh no!